Krishna's always playing his flute. Why don't we hear his flute? Oh, come, come, this name, this name, this name. We're not ready yet. So we're waiting to hear his flute. But actually, we should understand in one way, Krishna's flute call, actually we've all heard it in one way. Why? Kling is the Sanskrit bij, the seed of all mantras, and it's the sound of Krishna's flute. From that manifests Om, from Om manifest the Vedas, from the Vedas manifest all the scriptures and all the teachings of all the saints. And anything that we've heard of that that's brought us to this point, to be in a temple, place of bhakti yoga, that means somewhere along the line we've heard the flute of Sri Krishna. And here we are now. Right? So now we're in like the KG class, primary class, first grade, second grade. Sadhana, practicing spiritual life, trying to develop what we call the creeper of devotion, the Bhakti Lata Bij. Let it ripen into the fruit of prem, pure love, that we can relish and is moreover relishable to Sri Krishna. Right? That's what we want to be. We don't want to relish the fruit of love. Let Krishna, this prem phal. Krishna is, he is Akila Rasamrita Murti. Means he relishes all flavors, all tastes. So we can imagine every soul is like a flower waiting to bloom with a special fragrance and a special nectar. And Krishna is that transcendental, right? Madhukari, Bhikshuk. Right? He goes and collects the fragrance, the love of all different living entities. That is our eternal relationship of love. So the gopis who heard their name being called by Krishna gave up everything at once and ran to find Krishna. They didn't know the way, the path. They only knew, right? Like the current of love is flowing until it reaches the source of its love. So they left everything and went to Sri Krishna. Krishna is very tricky. God is very tricky. You've come, why have you come? Who called you here? You can imagine Krishna standing there and all of a sudden he's surrounded by how many? Many times many. And they all were waiting. Oh, Krishna, you called me here? Gurudev says, Krishna had some desire. Krishna is Atmaram Aptakam, self-satisfied. God is self-satisfied. Yet, his pastime is to give his love and mercy. That is his seva. Krishna's service is to give us all his love and relationship. So that's why we also shouldn't criticize Krishna. Oh, Krishna is dancing with many gopis. Why? This is his seva. Only Krishna can do this seva. Lord Ram also can't do this seva. Lord Ram only with Sita. Any other avatar, only Krishna can do this seva. Giving love and accepting everyone, however they are. Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada would say, Kaminidakam naitavatam tara malik kevala jadav. Only Krishna can satisfy the desires of all. Only Krishna. Eko bahunam yovidadati kamam. In the Upanishads, there's a famous phrase. Alone, Krishna alone can fulfill the desires of all. Eko bahunam yo vidadati kamam. It's described that the active ingredient of love is a kind of attraction for the object of one's love and desire to be with them and to serve them. So only Krishna can satisfy that. So all the Braja gopis appeared. Many of these gopis were what we call sadhan siddhas. Means they had perfected themselves through many lifetimes of worship, of austerities, of meditation, of prayer. And they'd been born in manifest Vrindavan. This is called Vastu Siddhi. So there's two kinds of perfection. First is Swarup Siddhi, the first stage. Means you realize your eternal nature, eternal identity, and you are engaged in that internally. And then at the end of this life, when you reach, if you can reach Bhav Bhakti, it means the highest stage of spiritual ecstasy in this body. When you give up this body, then you are born in Braj, and you achieve Prem, and that's called Vastu Siddhi. So they achieved that, and Krishna called them, and they ran to Krishna. But they were so intoxicated, so attracted by that call of love, and really not just the call of love, but it's a call that came from me. It's not just a general flute call. Krishna's flute and his power is such that each one heard their own name. And really it was Krishna calling them all individually, come. And he called them all, and then immediately said, why have you come? So this is also a long discussion. We don't have so much time, but we'll just go through it quickly. We'd need another 5-6 days, but there's a whole discussion and many commentaries upon that discussion before the dance started. But Krishna described, he said, ultimately you have come because you want to come. You want to be here. You need to be here. Right? So really you have come. I have called you, but I only called you because you wanted me to call you. It's like you called me, you hung up, then I called you back. Krishna called them back. Right? Back home, back to God, and that's what it means. He called you back. Like there's a prank you can do with your friends. You call someone, and they say, oh, why'd you call me? I say, what do you mean? You called me? No, you called me. No, you called me. You don't remember? And you just argue until you finally convince them. So, who called who? Krishna says, who knows? Love called love for the sake of love. Who called who? Who's to say? Finally, the gopis defeated Krishna in argument, and the Ras dance began. We shouldn't think of the Ras dance as some kind of mundane activity. Bhaktisiddhanta Prabhupada and all our acharyas describe this is the most transcendental, sublime activity, and it's like we say, the soul has potency, and the nature of energy or potency is to be active. And when you experience the highest love, this gives you the highest, you could say, energy, force. And so therefore the soul or your active nature becomes the most dynamic. That's why you dance. That's why it's the rasa dance. It's not the rasa night. It's not the rasa sleep. It's the rasa dance. It's not rasa bedtime. Right? Dance. Why? Because the soul is energy and consciousness. This is the nature of the soul. It's conscious energy. And the source of the energy, the energetic Krishna that we are attracted to, when you receive the fulfillment of that love, then you want to dance. And so it's natural. It's not like they were planning to dance. Oh, we're going to go and Krishna at 8 p.m., the dance is going to start, and then we're going to get dressed up. They weren't even dressed for the dance. Right? Some weren't dressed properly, or they would, it's Gurudev would describe, they would dress completely haphazardly, right? Hodgepodge. And Krishna was smiling, thinking, look, for so many lifetimes and years, they've been praying and wanting to be with me, and now I called them, and they weren't even ready. But their glory is that they didn't get ready. And they didn't, I have to dress up properly and then go. No, Krishna's calling, shouldn't wait. I remember Gurudev used to come to our house, and on morning walks, our house was next door to Gurudev's, where he stayed in New Braj. And our house was a small mobile home, but we'd have like 30, 40 people stay in the house. Shamarani Didi and her whole entourage and so many other devotees. And we would all sleep in tents or on the deck. We have a deck out there. And as kids, we would sometimes sleep in and be in our pajamas, and then Gurudev would walk up. Oh, Gurudev's here! And we wouldn't think, let's run into the house and take a shower and put on clothes, and then go, bye, because by the time you do that, he's gone. Gurudev wants to see you, you go. In your pajamas and with your, snot and your mucus in your eyes and everything. And you go and you offer pranam, and Gurudev was more happy to see you like that. Gurudev was more happy to see you like that than to see you all tie-fi, boot suits, It's not the military where if you have a little wrinkle, you get kicked out. All right? Krishna is calling as you are, come as you are. So Krishna called everyone and they all appeared. And there's no fault in them. Why? They've been practicing austerities for so long, praying to Krishna. There's so many categories of gopis who came. The personified Vedas, personified Upanishads, Dhanyakaranya sages. So many different sadhana siddhas had come. And they've been praying for this moment for years. Ever since their existence, we've been praying for this moment of finally meeting our beloved, our true soul beloved. To describe that person whose love is part of your nature.